Political opinions. Tayo po na political opinions. Sa bagong popular political opinions. Sa bagong popular political opinions. Tayo po na political opinions. Tayo po na political opinions.
Press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button. Press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button. Press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button. Press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button.
Tayo po na political opinions.
I'm sorry. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another unpopular opinion. And I am your host, Chawanne Burns. Our super producer will not be with us today. Her and I, we both burned the midnight oil. I didn't get to bed till like 3:30, and I think she said she didn't get to bed till late or early this morning either. But on today's episode, we're not going to do the NFL week 9 recap. I'm just going to wait for a super producer to come back on Friday, and we'll do the recap, and also we'll have our new picks for the NFL for week 10. I believe Detroit Lions is in a bye week that week, so I really don't care. And they're number one in their division. Anyway, so today we're going to discuss the election results. Just a couple of things that went on during the time they were counting ballots. There are several states that they have not called yet, but it's really close. It looks like they're going to go towards Donald Trump. But several media news outlets have declared Donald Trump to be the 47th president of the United States. So this is a great comeback for him because, he lost his incumbent in 2020 versus Joe Biden. And now in 2024, it seems as if like everybody just decided, hey, we need to, they didn't like the state of what was going on. And it seems like Democrats had maybe a lower turning vote out. And I believe the Republicans, people, even independents, it seemed like they came out in support of Donald Trump. And, I could say that I believe most Republicans and independents were pretty much galvanized and very excited about this election. Typically, or in particular, I believe that, the economy, So, I'm just going to share with you guys some of the clips that happened yesterday. Joy Reid was kind of freaking out, and when things doesn't go your way, that's what you do. You freak out. And I think Joy Reid, she started freaking out, and um she started blaming people other than, herself. It seems like, why would you start blaming other races? That, I think, that causes more divisiveness. You're blaming other races. She said something about white woman not showing up, um and then Van Jones, he started to cry, and it was a bunch of, um to me, it was a bunch of people crying about the election. And it's one of those things that, that this is something that we go through. Now, this is just a Van Jones right here. Let me just share this tab. You guys let me know if you could hear this in the tab. And before I do that, let me just give a shout out to everybody that's in the audience. Keratin, you saying no volume. Hopefully you could hear me now. Um Kevin Walker, good morning, but we can't hear you. Can you hear me now? Q out of the DFW. Miss Super Producer um is in the building. She's in the chat. Keratin Hollister, yes, and no cheating this time. Yeah, people, I think Donald Trump was very prepared in that perspective, because I know he sued Pennsylvania a couple of times because of the things that they were doing, and actually the court ruled in his favor. They actually had to keep the polls open longer for the early voting, because of they tried to cut off the line at 1 o'clock during the early voting period, and the courts ruled in Donald Trump's favor. But anyway, yeah, there was no cheating. And Q out of DFW is saying not surprised. Carrington is saying it was cringe as hell, like grow the F up, man. Yeah, and this is what I'm going to share with you. This is your guy, Van Jones. Now, Van Jones he's always emotional. I really don't understand why he's so emotional. Um but that's Van Jones for you. And I'm playing around with this. I'll keep it on this. So you see he gets emotional, and then he starts to say something about black women are not able to hold their head up. I'm like, okay, but this is what he had to say.
Women who know a little, because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite who are hurting tonight. There are African American women who know a little bit about being talked down to, and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy. And once again, they're facing rejection. And that hurts. They thought tomorrow morning they're going to walk out with their shoulders back a little bit, maybe able to breathe for the first time and feel like they belong someplace. They did everything that they knew how to do. And it's going to be harder than it should be tomorrow for them to hold their heads up. And they're not the only people who are hurting tonight. If you're a parent of a trans kid, your child's face was used as a springboard to power for somebody. That doesn't feel good. There are going to be people tomorrow, we're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There are going to be people who are going to be cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers. And they're terrified tonight. And so it's easy to blow this off. Oh, look at the elites. They're going to get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Yeah, but Van, how do we know that those people didn't vote? A large portion of those people aren't part of the people that elected Donald Trump.
Well,
right? I think that's a good part of the electorate. And the black women, the party, the Democratic Party, let those black women down. Not Donald Trump.
He's absolutely correct. The Democratic Party let black people in general down, and this is why the election went this way. Back to, if you look at the statistics, Donald Trump only obtained like 20% on average. They said 15% on average of the vote. I mean, Van Jones is being just really unreasonable at this point. It's like, who says I'm going to hold my head down because Kamala Harris did not win? Number one, the people that voted for Donald Trump, those are the black women or black individuals, if you're part of that 15-20%. Those are the ones that probably didn't think Kamala Harris was black. So and the other ones that did vote for Kamala Harris, I don't think that was the main issue. Hopefully not. You do have some identity politics. People were saying, "Oh, she's a black woman," but hopefully that wasn't why they were voting for Kamala Harris. If it was, we could say identity politics is a failure. People are not going and pushing a button for a person or voting for a person because of their identity. They're voting for a person, and it only proves to Democrats even more that they're going to vote for a person based off their policies. And it's numbers don't lie. People lie, women lie, men lie, but numbers don't lie. And we see on here Donald Trump is he not only garnered the electoral college, but he also garnered the popular votes. Okay, so it's not like these people are insane. You have over 51% of the people that voted for Donald Trump. That's 71.5 million people, and it's still counting. And it looks like the people, the states that they haven't claimed yet, it looks like Donald Trump is still in the lead. They got 98% of the votes in, and it's still a narrow lead. They're saying it's about 100,000 votes that that's apart. Let me just click on Michigan, and I'm saying Michigan, they have 114,000 ballots that they're still counting. So of course they're not going to call that yet because it's greater than the lead. But it looks like Donald Trump is going to win Michigan. It looks like Donald Trump was also going to win Arizona, and they already called Alaska for him. But Arizona, even though they got 63% in, so that might change. But I think he won that last election. And then you have Nevada, that it's another battleground state, right? Or swing state that could have went to, what is it? It could have went to your girl Kamala Harris, but it didn't. So they got 93% in. 93% in. I don't know. I'm questioning these numbers right now. Because last time when I looked at it, it doesn't make any sense, the percentage versus the numbers counted. But anyway, I'm just doing math, and it doesn't make any sense. But what I'm getting at is Donald Trump, he has 51.5% of the votes, and Kamala Harris, she's down by 46.8% of the votes. And it looks like this is going to go to Donald Trump as well. But we don't know until that they finish counting, and I believe the Republicans looks like they have majority of the Senate. If we look at the seats, they have 52 seats right now. 52 seats. 34 of them was up for re-election. They're saying they flipped 3 seats. And I think it's just showing that, and especially mainstream media, your lies, it doesn't matter what lies and what programming messaging that you send to the people. They're just gonna, they're gonna based off what's happening in their life. And apparently a lot of people didn't agree what was going on. You guys put in chat, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Keratin is saying cringe. Kevin is saying, if I wasn't at work, I would watch The View to see them cry. Toy Mafia, yo, puppet. Yeah, he is a puppet. Keratin, man, Michigan still counting. Michigan, you never know with Michigan. They has some funny stuff going on in Michigan, and I hear Michigan was one of the I think one of the my what is it called? One of the people that was in my chat yesterday, they were saying that they saw on X that they were pulling up more ballots to count. So I don't know if that's going to be one of the things that they're going to talk about, but you know um or is going to stop them for calling the election in Michigan. But yes, they're still counting, Keratin. That's what Michigan does. Oh, super producer, you decided to join us.
Most definitely. Ain't gonna be no trash talking without me.
Oh, no
Once I
trash talking.
seen the
We
Van Jones thing, I said, let me
Oh
get
yeah.
out of here.
Van Jones, he's always crying now. I mean, that's what he
He's a
does.
very interesting individual. I will say that.
I
Because
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's very
all that
interesting.
wasn't necessary. I don't feel like all that was necessary. I don't feel like black women are feeling defeated. I don't feel like black women are feeling any of those things that he stated. Uh, I
Yeah.
don't even feel like this is a disappointment. This was a presidential election. Whether she was a woman or not, it's 2 candidates.
And one of them gonna win, right?
Yeah, I mean, either way.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Let's be really real on this show today. Cause me, for right now, this the serious super producer y'all gonna get. Cause it's just a whole bunch of things that can happen behind this, I feel. But we gon' y'all gonna get to see the real super producer for a few minutes.
Okay.
Um, we just gonna be real. The president, whoever the president of the United States is, absolutely don't matter. What matters is what that House and that Senate do, because the only thing the president has the power to do is veto. So, really, it's your local elections, like I was saying on my podcast late last night, that matter. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. And you're
Gary
right.
Williams say, "How you like me now?" Gary Williams, I still like you. This doesn't make your political opinion. See, this is what you all don't know about super producer. I respect people's opinions, right, Shawan?
Yeah, you do.
Like I respect people's opinions. People have the right to say whatever it is they want. That's the country that we live in.
Hmm.
So I still like you, Gary Williams. I still like everyone. This don't change nothing for me. The only thing it does is make me go harder to have people vote and to have people, get involved in their local elections.
Mhm.
I was telling my experience as an election judge last night, and I did tell the people that Donald Trump won my precinct, the precinct that I worked. It was 227 to 249,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
which was a, you know, in the teens difference, which, I wasn't surprised at because of the area that I live in. What I was surprised at was how the racism was actually in my face
What do you mean
yesterday.
racist?
So,
Racism? What happened with
huh?
the racism? What do you
See,
mean racism?
uh, you think racism don't exist?
No, you're saying I was surprised that racism was in my face. I want you to give me an example.
Oh
I
no,
didn't say
because
racism
okay,
didn't
so I am
exist.
election judge, so you come to me to get checked in and get your receipt for your ballot, what ballot, your style you're supposed to be voting on.
Okay.
And there were a myriad of people that refused. Me and a Hispanic lady was sitting at one table, and there was a white lady sitting at the other table, and she was by herself. And there were absolutely loads of people who refused to be checked in by us. And when we told them to step down, they absolutely refused.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of that yesterday. We actually had somebody that was yelling and screaming, saying that they had to go to work, which was insane. And it was, I'm sure, a Trumper.
Okay.
And I'm saying to her, ma'am, the polls are open to 7, but it's election day. So all jobs, are making allowances or now make allowances, especially in the state of Illinois. They can't um they can't reprimand you for voting any
Okay.
longer.
Okay.
So, and even Amazon, when I worked there, all you had to do was fill out a paper and you get 4 hours paid and you go vote.
Okay.
So, that people, jobs can no longer do that out here in Illinois. So she really had no reason to be screaming at the top of her lungs like that.
So
Um,
you're saying that the people were saying that they didn't want to be checked in by the Mexican and you,
Now they
right?
didn't say anything when we called them to come down because see now the line is forming behind them because there's only one other person checking in, and it's a white lady besides for me and the black and the brown lady. So I'm
Okay.
black and she was Hispanic.
Okay.
We call for them to come down because there's no one standing in front of us. We're waiting to check you in. We
And
called
they
them
wanted
down
to wait until the white lady got finished
and
with
did.
checking in her
And
people or
did, and we
whatever.
had no problem letting them.
Okay.
We
What
had
kind of
no problem.
ballots did you guys have?
So we had 2 different type of ballot styles. The only difference between them were, the judges that they were gonna elect, but they still have the, one where you darken in the circle,
Okay.
with the pen. So you have to, darken in the circle completely, with a pen for your selection, and then you feed it into the, um, ballot box. We actually had minimal, problems at our precinct. However, there were other precincts where there was Wi-Fi issues. There were check-in issues. We did experience some check-in issues and things of that nature, but they weren't outrageous. The
Okay.
time some of the voters had to wait for things to get fixed was
Mhm.
a little bit long, but nothing like extremely outrageous. Nobody had to wait like 1 hour or 2 hours to you know what I'm saying, to get something rectified. We
Mhm.
registered voters, and there were a lot of new voters,
Mhm.
and, there were a lot of first-time voters in their 60s,
Yeah, I've
voting
been
as well.
hearing that.
Yeah, which
I'm
was
seeing
crazy
that a
to me.
lot.
So you mean to tell me all through civil rights, all through all of that, you didn't vote?
Yeah.
That was amazing to me.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so, yeah, we had a lot of first time voters. We had a lot of families voting.
Mhm.
In my particular precinct, there would be like generations of
Yeah.
women. There were generations of men.
Mhm.
Um, there were a lot of family voting
Mhm.
going on out in my precinct. And we had about 489 people who voted, which was pretty low considering we had 1,000 ballots given to us.
Were you assigned to the precinct that you vote in, or you
I
assigned
absolutely was.
Okay. So
The precinct that I vote in, which I voted early by mail, or I took my vote down to the Board of Elections and handed it in personally. But yeah, I absolutely was in so I met a lot of my neighbors, seen a lot of my neighbors, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Your neighbors are majority white?
And they are, because super producer, you're not going to tell the super producer where to live, and the super producer is not going to be gentrified. Absolutely not. So I live in a very affluent neighborhood, and I live in Will County, which is mostly predominantly white.
Okay.
There are lots of there are, a fair amount of Black people out here. The ones that I saw yesterday, we were so happy to see each other. We gave each other the ceremonial nod.
Okay.
And we smiled and we talked and we laughed and did what they did, whatever it was that they did. Good morning, Minion. America is officially doomed. A convicted felon who believe you can grab women by the pee, and they are going to now take female reproductive rights away. And now Project 2025.
Project 2025 is, you still going on this Project 2025. That has nothing to do with Donald Trump.
It absolutely has everything to do with him.
It doesn't.
But I mean, I'm just saying.
This is why you should stop listening to the mainstream media.
How is it the mainstream media when the people that came out of his cabinet wrote it?
The people who? Some of the people, but the heritage. Do you know Project 2025 been in existence before Donald Trump started?
2025 was the revision of another project.
Okay, then what are you talking about?
The people who revised
Donald Trump's plan is Agenda 47.
The people who revised it came from Donald Trump's cabinet. Can you agree?
But Trump's
I'm not asking you about it, but the people who revised it were in Donald Trump's camp.
Some of the people had nothing to do with the heritage.
That is all I'm saying. So for you to sit here and act like this man doesn't know
you to sit here
about Project 2025 is crazy.
Not a part of his agenda.
Donald Trump's name is
Project 2025.
20 some odd times in Project 2025,
and Project 2025 has nothing to do with Project or Donald Trump's agenda.
I'm just asking.
Project 2025 has nothing to do with Donald Trump's agenda.
You don't know?
Project 2025 has nothing to do with
I asked the
Donald
question,
Trump's agenda.
Why is his name mentioned 300 plus
he
times?
Can't stop people. He can't stop people from putting his
because
name.
The project came from his people. That's why
he cannot stop people from.
Why would you mention somebody's name who has nothing to do with it? I'm confused.
He cannot stop people from putting his name because he was the president. But you can't stop people putting their name in there.
I am just confused.
But this is why Kamala Harris lost, because you're listening to the mainstream media.
How is that the mainstream media when you just admitted that his name
you're regurgitating mainstream media talking points?
How this is a talking point. Project 2025 should be important to you.
It's not important because that's not Donald Trump's agenda.
We're gonna see if Project 2025 moves now that Donald Trump is in office.
This is why
I said we're gonna watch and see if it moves. That's what I said.
It's not gonna move. Project 2025 is not a part of Donald Trump's agenda.
Project 2025.
I read Project 2025, all 925 pages.
I want you to type in Donald Trump and see how many times his name comes up.
It doesn't matter how many times.
If it's not his agenda and he has nothing to do with it, his name should not even be mentioned.
He didn't write it. What are you talking about?
I didn't say he wrote it. I said people from his administration did.
He didn't write it.
But why is his name mentioned 300 plus times?
He didn't write it.
I'm asking a question.
He didn't write it.
Who in the comments can tell me why Donald Trump's name is mentioned 300 plus times?
You can't stop people from putting his name in something.
I can totally stop it. You can totally stop it.
No,
because
you
if
can't.
I'm not,
No, you can't. They got plenty of books talking
mention
about
my
Donald
name in
Trump
that.
now.
Did he
What
come
are
out
you
and
talking
say,
about?
don't mention my name in something that I have nothing to do with?
There's plenty of books that's talking about Donald Trump. There's plenty. Okay, Minion.
Is that right? Send me the video. Minion.
Send the video. Send the video, Minion, because you're making stuff up. Like I said, this is why
Minion, you can send it
I'm
to
about
my,
to find the link.
You can
Yeah,
send it to my messenger so I
send
can
me
put it
the
up.
video. But it's
Boy, Mafia still ain't learned nothing.
yeah, you still haven't learned nothing.
Haven't learned anything and not
y'all
gonna
haven't
learn.
learned nothing. Y'all on
And
this
not
Democrat
gonna learn.
plantation.
And not gonna learn.
Is on the Democrat plantation.
I'm just not. Carrington, he gonna send the link, I'm sure.
Democrat
know
plantation, and I mean, these mainstream media talking points is really ridiculous.
How is it mainstream media? I'm asking
because
the question.
mainstream media always talking about it. This was
now.
on Kamala Harris' main talking point. If you go back in all her things and say, "Oh, Project 2025," even if you look on Kamala Harris' website, "Oh, Donald Trump Project 2025." After Donald Trump specifically said, "I had nothing to do with Project 2025."
President, why is his name mentioned?
He didn't write it.
If
he didn't write it,
you're not gonna mention my
name.
But
you're saying so Donald Trump wrote the book?
Am I saying he wrote the book? I already told you that people in his cabinet.
It doesn't matter. You can't control grown people. There's a lot of people in his administration that wrote a book about Donald Trump.
I asked you, why was the man's name mentioned 300
He didn't write it, but you're being unreasonable.
How am I being unreasonable by asking the question?
If
you a person who read it and looked at it for yourself, which I have, and you can go and search it and put his name and search, and his name comes up 300.
Project 2025 was written by the Heritage Foundation. It had nothing to do
you keep saying
with
that,
Donald
and I keep asking
Trump.
you the same question. Why is his name
you
mentioned?
You can't control other people.
Why can't you? Because the lady just sued him for defamation. So I don't see why.
You can't control other people.
I don't see why you can't control your name.
No.
Isaac Hayes' family just sued him for playing his music, so he can no longer play Isaac Hayes' music at all. So that's why
we gotta learn.
Could have said, "Do not mention my name in this."
We gotta learn. No, because most of the things that's mentioned in there, they're giving reference to what happened in the administration.
So why would they be giving reference to?
Why wouldn't there? He's part of the conservative. He's a part of the conservative.
Why would they need
He's Republican, so he's conservative. So what are you talking
about? Why would they need him to basically confirm?
Just admit it that Donald Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025, and we can move forward.
Okay, thank you, Carrington. He can sue the Heritage Foundation for putting his name on that document. If he's not a part of it, he should.
No. What I'm saying, I don't think he can, because listen, Project 2025 is they're mentioning things that happen in the in his cabinet.
That's what I'm saying.
Specific things. Okay, this and this and this. They mentioned Joe Biden too. Is it part of Joe Biden's agenda?
How many times did they mention?
It doesn't matter, but they mentioned Joe Biden. So they're specifically talking about different things that happen in the office and giving examples of specific things that happen under his leadership.
Why
would they make a stark comparison under Joe Biden's leadership?
His name for clout if he has nothing to do with it. They should. Project 2025 should be able to stand on its own without mentioning him. He's not a part of it. Carrington just said he should be able to sue the Heritage Foundation.
No, if it's factual information, how would he be able to sue? If this is factual information.
They can say this happened during this year, this time, this is what occurred. You can look all those things up. You can look up the occurrence without mentioning names.
Okay. All right. Oh, you're right. Let's just move forward because this doesn't make any sense. Let's just move forward. Do you want to talk about the election or what you want to talk about?
No, listen, I just wanted to come in and say my piece about that. Your local elections is what, absolutely matters. Make sure that you vote in your local elections and make sure that you are registered to vote. Make sure you know your candidates. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I think local elections is very important, and a lot of people ignore the local elections and don't do their research and either don't vote for the candidates or, they do that straight party ticket, maybe thinking they're going to
A
get
lot
the
of
right.
people yesterday left things blank, and they did so on purpose. They asked us, could they? And we told them last night on my podcast, I said, why would you waste your time and vote to leave something blank? It's like going to KFC to get chicken and leaving with fries. That doesn't make any sense. You didn't get everything you came for.
But so you encourage people to do what? If they didn't know about the candidate, you encourage them to vote?
As an election judge, I didn't encourage them to do anything because that's not what I can do.
Okay.
I encouraged them to do what they wanted to do. If they wanted to leave it blank, by all means, leave it blank. That's your vote.
Okay.
If you're comfortable with leaving that blank, then leave it blank. But my personal opinion is don't leave anything blank. Whether, form some type of system. If you don't know, think somewhere in your mind cognitively. Pick the person that's already there, for that matter, if you don't know anything.
What if that person is a bad person, though?
I mean, what can you do? You was
that's just a blind.
Well, you was the uninformed voter, is what I'm saying. But like I said, I didn't encourage people to do anything. They turned around, they asked us if they could leave something blank. We told them absolutely. Because as a judge, that's what you do. You have to be impartial. You can't, we didn't have any type of political discussions with anyone. Now, the people could say a comment to us, but as far as us saying something to them, that didn't happen. And I would never do that, really. These are my personal opinions about leaving something blank. But lots of people yesterday left lots of blanks. Even on their local, because we had like referenda questions. A lot of people left the referendum questions blank because they didn't understand the verbiage. Some people asked us what words meant. We looked it up for them and we told them what the word meant without giving any type of context. We just told them what the word meant that they needed to answer. We had a lot of people voting yesterday that could not even read. They had assistants. We told them that they could go get someone to assist them. Some of them did to be able to read the questions to them. So some people did that. We also had some people that were vision impaired. But a lot of people, because they did not understand the verbiage of the referenda, they did not, put anything in those questions. And for me, those are the most important parts of the voting, are the things that's going to directly affect you, like these referendum questions and the retention judge and the judge questions. Those things are things that are directly going to affect you if you ever have to go to court, if you're, put in court. Those judges in the appellate courts and in the circuit courts, you're definitely going to see them if something, happens and you have to do that. And the referendum questions are definitely going to affect you because they're about your state or even your local government. So some people left those questions blank, which I thought was a real disservice to their vote.
But I don't know how your precinct or area works. Sometimes if you don't, number one, if you can't read, then you're just don't know. But then number two, those referendum questions, do you guys, I guess it all depends on what it is. Do they send out mailing about the referendums?
They send out mailings. You can actually go down to the Board of Elections, get a sample ballot way ahead of time, and you can ask any questions of the election people in the office that you want about the referendum questions. They will even give you the phone numbers to the council people and the mayor if you want to ask further questions and get a better understanding, of the referendum questions. Some of the meetings are set on days and nights that people may work and have other activities going on in their life, so they're not able to participate, and they watch the YouTube, recordings, but also they just not able to attend for whatever reason. So you absolutely are able to go down to your local board of elections, whether it be for Will County, Cook County, Kane County, all of the counties, and ask for a sample ballot. And anywhere you are, you can go to your board of elections, ask for a sample ballot, read the referendum questions, and ask questions while you're there.
Okay. I could see why people they probably don't know that, or you see what I'm saying? It's like, why would I, or how would I know I need to go to the board of wherever you said to go to?
Board of Elections, and that's why you
Yeah.
have platforms like this. That's why you have shows like Unpopular Opinion. That's why you have, other political, I think Undisputed. You can get all types of information from platforms such as this to be able to know to do that. But you have to first be involved in your government and be a person who wants to be informed about your government, because these things are all public information. You
Okay.
definitely can find it out if you want to.
Mhm.
That's all I want to say. Y'all be good. I see y'all on Friday.
All right. Have a good day. Okay. I just wanted to share with you guys another clip um in regards to the election. Okay, so I told you, what is her name? I forget what her name is. Oh, that quick. The lady from CNN. What's the lady's name with the bald head? Oh, Joy Reid. And she had a meltdown. She started blaming, other. This is another rant. I guess she ran it twice. Okay, I'm going to start with this one. You guys let me know if you could hear this. Let me add to the stage. So Joy Reid, I mean, she went through all her phases of, trying to find somebody to blame for the election. She went through a phase where, you know, pretty much denying the election. Um, she was pretty unhinged. Kind of, I think when she realized that Donald Trump was actually going to be the declared winner, she kind of flipped out on, on everybody.
Definitely were reaching for. There was a lot of work to try to, It's a state that I think Democrats definitely were reaching for. There was a lot of work to try to turn out the college campuses, which were really thick and really packed, and try to turn out the suburbs. And I think there was a lot of hope because of just the insanity, can we say fairly, of the person who's running for governor in that state, and a thought that, defeating him would also carry Harris in. But in the end, if they didn't make their numbers and essentially exceed the numbers that Joe Biden had in the suburbs, and I think we have to be blunt about why. Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state, is that if you can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much more that you can do but tell people what the risks are and leave it to them to do the right thing.
How about reproductive rights is not, even though they ran on that was their main agenda for their ticket or their policies, maybe that wasn't the main concern of white women. Maybe they had another concern like the economy or open borders. Let's stop, being delusional at this point. If you have something to sell, if I don't need it or want it, I'm not going to buy it. I don't care what color you look like. I don't care what type of agenda. Oh, she's a girl, so I'll just buy it. Not if I'm working on a budget. No, it's not in my budget. I'm not going to buy it. I don't need it, so I'm not going to buy it. That's the same with the election. Hey, you're running on these policies, but maybe that's not the main policies that we're focused on. And that is a miss by Kamala Harris. This is why Kamala Harris lost, because she's not in touch with her own people. I think black woman is the only woman like, oh, we need abortions. No, we don't. We do not need no abortions because we have so many other things that you could stop from getting pregnant. I mean, this is called unpopular opinion. You guys let me know what you think. So she was mad at white women because I guess they didn't come through for Kamala Harris. And, that's, like I said, I'm not surprised by her reaction. And then, let's see. And then they said, I guess last night, it says abortion amendment is rejected.
Fascist type government in Florida. It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist right wing fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place? It's a pure.
So she's calling it fascist in the Project 2025. This is exactly why I told mentioning, Project 2025 has nothing to do with Donald Trump's agenda. And if you do your research, Donald Trump was very vocal about the 6-week ban abortion. He said he thought it should be longer. And he does believe that it should be some type of exclusionary rule, depending on, like the R word in incest. So what are we saying here? Now, abortion, I don't know about Florida, if they did amend that I think it had a 6-week ban, or maybe they amended it to 6 weeks. But I know it was real stringent. The people voted for that. The people voted for it. So if woman is not concerned about it, why the hell would a man be concerned about it? If a age reproductive woman is not concerned about it, why in the hell we got all these old black women concerned about it? I just want to know. You guys throw me a lifeline. Joy Reid had her kids, but she want to encourage everybody else not to have kids. To me, it's really ludicrous. Anyway, I'm not supposed to be angry at this point, but I do want to share just a snippet of Donald Trump's speech, because he did take the time out to meet with his audience at Mar-a-Lago. They had his I guess acceptance speech, congratulations speech, and they were pretty excited about it. I think Trump's speech, you could tell that a lot of people were really, really excited about Trump winning. So, and he had all his family there, so I think it's a pretty cool thing. No, that's the end. Let me just, who's this?
U.S. Open champion. He's fantastic golfer. Slightly longer than me. It's a little bit longer than me. Just a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau is up here someplace. What happened to Bryson? Where is he? Bryson. Oh, he was shot. He's hitting balls. Oh, he's on the way. He's hitting balls. Bryson. Oh, look at him. He's got a great career going. Great U.S. Open, Bryson. That's a fantastic job. And we have up here today.
And they had Donald Trump coming in on God Bless the USA, which was cool. I think it was overall a pretty successful, I guess, campaign. I knew it was gonna be a red wave. They won by a landslide. They won, so Donald Trump, they can't really contest anything, because it's one of those victories that the margins are so wide apart, is really nothing to contest. But your girl Kamala Harris, she has not conceded yet. I don't think she's conceded. I think she's supposed to, let me just see Kamala Harris when she's supposed to address her people. I call her a sore loser, because she had all those people at Howard, her school, and I guess one of her campaign managers came out to speak. She didn't come out. She didn't even show up. And this is a post from Twitter. They're saying Kamala Harris has not conceded yet. Literally shaking right now at this attack on our democracy. This is the guy that, I guess this is her campaign manager. Harris supporters sent home while every vote is counted. Then Kamala Harris called Trump to concede the election.
Good evening, Howard. Good evening, HU. I want to say good evening to all of the Harris campaign, the campaign family. Thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in the promise of America. We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation. So thank you. We believe in you. May God bless you. May God keep you. And go HU and go Harris. Thank you all.
Thank you.
They're saying that she's not conceded yet. That's what BBC is saying. Kamala Harris yet to concede Trump wins as Trump wins the White House. And this was 2 hours ago. New York 4 is saying when Kamala Harris is going to speak today, here's what to know about the VP conceded the election. Okay, so she did concede it on the election. It's saying former President Donald Trump is once president again, elect Donald Trump after becoming the projected winner in 2024 election over Vice President Kamala Harris. Harris did not speak to the supporters or the nation's Tuesday night as election results. I think they meant were coming in, and the race has not been decided. Harris campaign co-chair Cedric Richmond said the vice president will not address the supporters on Tuesday, but the nation will expect to hear from her sometime on Wednesday. And it says, what time will she speak? They're saying it's to remain fluid. Where will well, we know she's going to speak at Howard University. Has Kamala Harris conceded the election? Vice President Harris is expected to concede the election in her address to the nation on Wednesday. This is from the NBC News reports. Before she speaks to the nation, Harris is expected to call the president-elect Trump to concede the race. And this is coming from Monica Alba. Will Joe speak to the nation? Has Biden called Trump? It says Alba said President Joe Biden will call the former President Trump to congratulate him. Biden is expected to address the nation about the election results at some point. Biden plans to attend Trump's inauguration in January in Washington. This is what they're reporting. So I guess they're planning to concede sometime today. And then after she concedes, she will call Donald Trump. Or after she concedes, she will address, her supporters. I think she should address her supporters, but maybe Kamala Harris was going through some things yesterday. Let me just get to some of your chats. Gary Williams, she stopped blaming Black American men because we gave her a lot of pushback. Yeah. Carrington is saying he also said that it's up to the states or whether or not they want to ban abortion outright. Yeah, and I think that's what was on the ballot. And you can't blame other states if they want to ban that in that particular state, then it's up to the people. This is the problem that I have. Okay, we're saying, it should be a federal abortion ban. Okay, your state bans it up to 6 weeks or whatever. Why don't you just go to another state or move to another state? If abortion is so important to you, move to the more liberal states. If abortion is so important to you. I think it's not important to you because you're screaming and hollering about this abortion ban. It's not important to you because you would have moved. I truly think that. Because if you're saying to me, oh, it needs to be back into the Constitution, okay, but the people have spoke. Now you're trying to be like almost a dictator, saying, oh, every state should have this abortion ban. Not necessarily. If you live in that certain state and they voted, you're telling me that you're planning to take away the rights of the vote of the people. And this is what I believe Donald Trump intention was. It's like we're giving it more smaller governments that are bigger government. That's what a lot of people don't understand about Donald Trump. He believes in smaller government, giving those rights back to the people instead of the bigger government telling us, hey, we should be doing these things to, number one, our body, number two, and everyone has to abide by these rules in different states. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Keratin is saying that was a beautiful speech by Trump indeed. Kevin, how long do we have to wait before we can call her the election denier? I guess if she never concedes, I don't know if, there's legal ramifications for that. She probably have to contest it. I don't think they just allow you to contest certain results. And I think that's why Donald Trump got in a lot of trouble, because he was trying to contest Georgia, but I think Georgia, he lost by 700,000. But then when you come to find out, they had some ballots that were in question. Did he lose by 700,000 or 300,000? I know it was some questionable ballots that they end up finding out like this year of the prior election. And it was like 300 and some thousand. And I think that's the amount that he lost by. You guys put in the chat. I think that's what they said. Some of those ballots should have been voided out. And Donald Trump probably would have won Georgia. But anyway, I think it has to be in a certain margin for you to contest it. You can't just frivolously say, oh, recount it. But maybe you can. I'm not for sure. You guys, I'm not for sure how the presidential election works. I know in Michigan, it has to be in a certain margin of error, or certain amounts, and then they will recount it. But they do charge you to recount those ballots. That's what I do know. Gary Williams, God bless America with a fresh new start. Toy Mafia. American people have spoken. We don't need her concession. Yeah, I mean, America, and just like when Joe Biden won, I mean, even though a lot of people didn't believe he won the popular vote, but the American, if you really think about it, the American people have spoken, Good morning, Justin. And dead people votes too. Gary, he lost by 14,000. Are you talking about in Georgia? See, and that's probably why he was contesting. If he only lost by 14,000. So, and I know in Michigan he lost by a very slim margin. So, and this is why, you have where you could contest elections. And I don't know if it's even worth for Kamala Harris to do it, because she's not even close to gaining any. She's at 244, right? Let's see, president. She's at 223. She's not even close to winning anything. Even if she wins 10, that would be 33. 39. 49.50. Even if she wins all these states, she's still at 250. There's no path for victory to her. 254. And it looks like she's not going to win. They're still at 98% counting. But it's really close. It's 49.8 in Michigan versus 48.2. So it's just like a little bit over 1%, 1.5%. She's down bad over this one. She's down bad in Nevada. This one could change. Arizona could change because it's only 63% in. They said it would probably take 12 days to get that. And she's down bad. I believe Alaska is going to go to Donald Trump. And Maine is for electoral college votes. Donald Trump is down bad in this one. So I doubt if he wins anything in Maine. And I think they split the vote. Oh, actually, Trump might win two electoral college votes because he's up in one position. So they'll probably split Maine. She has no clear path for victory. So, I mean, I'm just assuming she should be conceding in the moment. Now, the one thing I do want to point out, because I forget what the guy's name is, he was saying that he will do anything possible to stop President Trump from getting in office again, as far as prosecuting him. And he was thinking about the 14th Amendment. I think his name is Raffensperger. Isn't that guy's name? He's a senator or something like that. Was it Raffensperger or he was on Bill Maher the other day talking like I don't think it's Raffensperger. I think it's somebody else. But he was saying that they could do a lot of stuff like within the 14th Amendment to stop President Trump from getting into office, even if he won. So that's what's next. I think that's the next thing or hurdle that Donald Trump has to overcome. Number one, hopefully they'll overturn this conviction that he actually went through in New York, because it's up with the Supreme Court. It looks like they're going to rule in his favor, because when I was listening to some of the Supreme Court questioning the lawyers, they was questioning like, how did you come up with this rule to prosecute Donald Trump? It didn't even make any sense for them. That's basically what they said in layman's term. So I think they might rule in his favor. But they are ruling. They're supposed to be ruling probably in the next week or so. So we'll know if the Supreme Court will overturn that conviction, that 34 counts. And then we'll also know about, they postponed that one January 6th trial. And I'm not for sure when they postponed it to, but I know they granted him immunity for some of the things. So I think they had to drop some charges. So it's starting to look pretty bleak for liberals in that perspective, in trying to prosecute Donald Trump for, I guess, unknown crimes. Gary Williams, I think it is. Was it Jamie Rankin? Was it him? I know if I see him. Raskin. Jamie Raskin. Yeah, it's Jamie Raskin. And he was literally talking about using the 14th Amendment against Donald Trump if he actually won the election. So I think the temperature As far okay, Donald Trump won. I think people need to just move forward. He won. Let's move forward. Let's make the best of the country because we all got to live here. That's my final message before I get off today. We all live here. I mean, we might not agree on certain things, but we all live here. You know, I do not want an open border. Or I don't want my jobs going to, a different country. And when I say my job, I'm specifically talking about the men that work in my family. Some of the men that work in my family, they work in the manufacturing industry that's been laid off just recently. So, when we talk about that kind of thing, okay, we might not disagree. We might be passionate when we're talking to each other, but we all got to live here. And America is going to be great. It has to be great again. And, I believe Donald Trump will make our country great again. I think he has the American people near and dear to his heart because, hell, he's already a billionaire. What's the point? He's been shot at, been persecuted, all kinds of things. We basically ripped through his life, his children's life. They really couldn't find nothing on his children. His children is pretty good kids, but I mean, all the things that he's been through in the last 9 years is like, what are we, fighting amongst ourselves about Donald Trump or how he is as a person? Apparently, he does care about America, because why would you persecute your own self? Just to go to get in office to make $300,000 a year, which he doesn't accept, to me is ludicrous. Okay, so I think moving forward, I think we just need to just get along and get along to get along. Okay, and that's all I got to say about that. Let me get to some more. Your comments is saying they need to overturn those rulings. I believe they're going to do that. They're going to have to. And you think Raskin is a bluffing man? Probably so. He probably not going to. He has to get support throughout the House for him to do anything. He can't just go at it alone. And if he does, they probably gonna, ostracize him. Like, you causing more division in the climate. It's already divided. We don't need any more division. Chawanne, very well said. Thank you for all you do. Christopher is saying, just like I figured, Kamala was running a city girl summer whole face campaign, and it showed to the public here in America and overseas. Yeah, it's like all the things that they were saying about their campaign strategies. Apparently this is not important to females, apparently, because she would have got more people would have showed out. She would have got more votes than what she received. And apparently Donald Trump's messaging resonates with more people than Kamala Harris. That she couldn't round up her votes or galvanize her base to show up for her. So numbers don't lie. The things that she was selling, they didn't need. Okay, numbers don't lie. The things that Donald Trump was selling, apparently it resonated with the American people. He won the popular vote and he won the majority vote. Paper tigers. Okay. All right, so that is it for our live stream. You guys, oops, I did something wrong. I was trying to remove this. You guys, stay tuned. I will be going live on my other channel at 1:30 p.m. I'm going to try to catch me some Z's, eat me something and catch me some Z's. And then it'll be back to my normal schedule. I'm not going to be online for a long time today. I just want to, cover some things about the election. And I had another story that I wanted to talk about that, kind of is under the radar. Nobody's really saying anything because the election is kind of overshadowing it. So Chawanne Burns business talks at 1:30. So stay tuned for that. And then I think, I don't know, All in the Queue super producer, I think she says she's going live today on her channel. So just take a look out for what she's doing. Okay. So I really appreciate every single last one of you guys, and I will talk to you soon.
Tayo ko na political opinions. Sama ba dyan popular political opinions? Sama ba dyan popular political opinions? Tayo ko na political opinions. 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 Sama ba dyan popular political opinions? Sama ba dyan popular political opinions? Tayo ko na political opinions. Tayo ko na political opinions.
Subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button. Press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button.